today we are going to be talking about which will disappear first, human or planet Earth. So to answer this question, we are going to have to look into what is it, planet Earth or humans. So this may seem like a very easy question, and I could tell its answer right now. In fact, it's planet Earth. Right? Wrong. It's not that. So planet Earth, it has one important thing. It's a planet. That's one thing that we have to take into consideration. It's a space mass. We cannot take it as that it could move suddenly to another place, especially when it's being pulled in by the sun. Guess what? Okay, I'm just going to make it clearer for all of you to see. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is there are different pros and cons to each one of them. So, planet Earth, there is only one planet Earth. This is one thing that we have to take into consideration. It may not seem like a lot, like what does one planet Earth even mean? What is it going to help? Because there's always one planet Earth, right? That's going to happen. While in the human side, there are 8 billion people. Okay, I have to go this way. Yes, there are 8 billion people exist on Earth. So humans, they in turn exist on Earth and they survive off of the resources from it. So here are the couple of things that we need to take into consideration, or here are the main points. That's what I'm trying to say. Here are the main points. And so the sun is something that is going to affect the lifespan of our Earth. Another thing that we need to take into consideration is that humans are I don't know how to say it, they can survive without this planet, theoretically, if we get tech. Because how humans work, they can increase their tech, and when they increase their tech, which means their intelligence has to go higher, they can go to different heights. Like for example, we can get out of the Earth, and so that's a thing that we need to take into consideration. We don't need the Earth to actually survive as a human. Like there's been numerous people who have gone to space before or gone to high heights, but nothing has happened to them. They don't need to live off of the Earth. Even some people who are in remote areas, they can still survive. So this is one thing that we need to take into consideration. Both humans can adapt and humans can create new tech. And this is something which is very important to think about. Next thing we need to talk about, planet Earth has its own lifespan. And so this is something to also think about. Because planet Earth, while it may seem like it has infinite time, it doesn't. There are many factors which go into its lifespan. And so here are some of the things. The sun, it will be affecting planet Earth's lifespan. And the thing about it is that it's going to be the main form, because it's going to grow eventually. It's going to try to eat up planet Earth and make it all evaporate, right? This is something that is very important. Another thing that could happen is meteoroids. It could actually blast a crater onto Earth, and that could be sometimes bad for its lifespan, and it could possibly crumble up if a big enough meteor hits it. But the thing about the meteor, whilst the meteor and external factors may be important, we have to talk about the meteor's size. How large would it actually have to be to actually even blow up a part of life in Earth? Because life always finds a way. That's a famous quote. But does it always find a way? Let's see. So, meteoroids, they might be really powerful and they might have killed the dinosaurs off, but they didn't even remotely do anything close to destroying the actual rock of planet Earth. Because what we are talking about for now is the life of planet Earth. The life of planet Earth, how long is going to survive. But another thing is that the Earth itself, we are also talking about the Earth destroyed by itself. That's what we are also talking about. And so the Earth, when it gets destroyed, we need to destroy also the rocks. That will be classifying as the Earth's end of lifespan. When it doesn't become a planet anymore, it becomes something else, like a meteoroid, for example. Meteoroid Earth. That sounds weird to say, but that's what I'm going to talk about. So about this, I don't actually know the time frame. It's 1.5, I believe, billion years ago. I think around there, a planet named Theia hit Earth. It's much bigger than an asteroid or a meteoroid, and it was able to put a big chunk out of Earth and make it the moon. But the moon is not even nearly the size of the whole Earth. It's almost 4 times less, or 4 times. It's a lot more than 4 times actually. So another thing is that this asteroid or meteor or planet or dwarf planet or whatever you want to call it, it was the size of Mars. So to actually destroy the whole Earth, not just a part of it, we need ourselves a planet or an asteroid or a dwarf planet or whatever you want to call it, a planet which is probably around the size of Earth itself, which is almost extremely hard to get. Of course, we have a couple of factors here. The sun. If the sun grows or the sun shrinks for some reason, we don't know why, but if the sun shrinks, which is some possibility, I guess it can happen. So what happens then is that Venus could come crashing into the orbit of Earth and destroying it, which is another thing we need to take. But Earth, we're not going to just look at Earth. We're now going to go to the humans. Humans live about 75 years or 75 to 90 years. But we will take ourselves a solid guess of the future and guess that humans are going to live around 115 years, which is going to be how much we are going to be calculating here, because we need to survive the test of time for a pretty long time. I think this is going to be the average life expectancy, this to 130 maybe. That's what I'm thinking. So this is the new lifespan of humans that I've given just for testing, because we want to test how much it will work. Of course, new people are being born every day to replace the dead people, right? That's just happening. We don't know it when it's happening. But in these 8 billion people, are there going to be actually enough people which will be born and enough people who will die just so it works out perfectly? Because overpopulation is another thing. Overpopulation could destroy everything. So now is when we have to go to the timeline. This is going to be very interesting because this is where the main part of the video comes. So we have to talk about Earth as a whole. First, let's take into consideration what Earth could happen. What could happen to Earth? So about I don't know actually, it's around probably 5 billion years. I think 5 billion years, around that time. The span of the sun is about 5 billion years left. But in these 5 billion years, we have to take another thing into consideration. That's about 1.5 billion years later. What will happen is that Earth would not be habitable, and then planets like Pluto or anything far away like that would become habitable. So here's the problem. If we only have 1 billion years left, then there could be a few problems at hand. First of all, with our current speed up of growth, it was just like 7.5 billion years, 7.5 billion people a couple of days ago, and now it's 8 billion. Not a couple of days, like 1 year maybe. Yeah, why am I saying a couple of days? So with this thing, we are going to expect by the time of 1 billion years, if we don't have an overpopulation thing to solve, if it goes like this, then 0.5 billion per year, if it goes like this, then what we are going to get. So in 2100, there will be around 10.5 billion people. So if you do the calculations correctly, in 1 billion years, there will be 350 billion people. You know how much that is? Let me show you what that number is. 1, 2. This is how many people will exist. And remember, if I were to give out ones in everyone, like ones like this, then it probably won't fit the board. Like these tiny ones, if I went up to this much number, it will probably take around 50 boards to actually get this number in there. And so, in case you were wondering the limit in which Earth can hold, how many people there would be that Earth can hold, there is about a limit of 10 billion people. Now imagine a planet which can only hold about 10 billion people, holding 350 billion people. That is not sustainable. That's 35 times the amount that Earth can hold. That won't work. But humans won't collapse. This is an important thing that we have to take into consideration. Again, there's a lot of consideration work here, but we have to take this because humans are really good at controlling overpopulation. Well, sometimes. So, if we go alongside the wars, nuclear wars sometimes might happen, a lot of things and other things. If full-on nuclear war doesn't break out and everything, what we might get, and that's my guess, this is kind of much more of a well-sustainable prediction, it will be around 12 billion. And I know that's a big difference, right? But if humans go along that, in 1 billion years, a lot of things can happen. So, we can consider 12 billion people. After a lot of overpopulation controlling, we can have this, which is more, but enough for Earth to sustain. Then we come into the problem of resources. Yes, my favorite topic, resources. Definitely not my non-favorite topic. Resources. So here it is. So say for example, we are using oil from the water, and we are taking it, turning it into plastic, and then dumping it right at water. So what's happening is we are not able to control this and recycle. Our thing will be destroyed. Of course, this is a very, very big problem, of course. But I think if even if they dodge this somehow, the Earth still has a couple of problems. First, you are having all of these wars and all of these things, and then you have to grow fast enough to be able to take 12 billion people or more, 30 billion or more, but below 20 billion, I think that's going to be the correct prediction. All of them, from spaceship to another planet like Pluto, which isn't even habitable yet. You have to develop the technologies, and of course 1 billion is a lot of time, but if we keep going like wars and everything every year, not every year but like every 10 years, then this is very, very out of concept for us. If we somehow manage to create peace for a long enough time, and then we were able to somehow not kill each other using nukes, then probably we could survive. At max, what I'm thinking is around 3 million years. That's going to be the best. And another thing is that complex life forms always get destroyed first. Then are the simpler ones. Life doesn't always find a way, I guess. But at most, if humans can survive and they go along that, yes, it's not that crazy now to think if humans survive and they can figure out and they evolve into other things, and making sure we retain what we are now, because then we will become a different species. We don't want that to happen, obviously. And so, after a lot of calculations, there are chances for humans to go to 1 billion people, or 1 billion years. So, with that and all of that, that 1 billion people, 1 billion years takes a long time, but with all of that we can say that we can survive maybe if we are really lucky. But what about planet Earth? Planet Earth will be able to have 5 billion years. Remember, planet Earth's rock will never break until that period. So that proves that humans might survive in another planet. Let's say they survive in Pluto. But eventually, even Pluto is going to become too warm. Then we are going to have to go to another star system, which is going to be very complicated. Essentially, after a very long time, even if we make it past this 1 billion barrier, we are going to have to survive another 1 billion years at most. After we have broken that, we can only go 1 billion years more, and then that's it. So 2 billion years after all of this, we have come, the humans can survive 2 billion years. Even if asteroids hit Earth and everything happened, a lot of things happened, Earth is surviving at least 2.5 billion, more than that in fact, 2.5 billion plus, while humans are at most surviving 3 billion plus. So with all of that, although this feels like humans are winning, humans probably won't survive that because there's a lot of rare chances. So the answer is yes. For all of you, the answer is, so I just wanted to talk about something with the viewers here. I want you to comment down below, trick all the other people who haven't watched the video fully, and say, yes, that's right, humans would always survive the more. So I just wanted to talk about all of this. Humans actually will survive most. Just comment that down below to trick all the other people. But in fact, the Earth will last more. So bye. I will see you next time.